write a good data analysis. So make sure that there is conciseness there, but it has to be quite sophisticated as well. Okay, and for language input, you have to use the tenses correctly. Okay, now if you have any questions, what you can do is you can write them down and you can ask us the questions at the end of the session. Okay? All right, now let's go to the tense part. Okay, because this is the part where some students get it mixed up, isn't it? It's kind of confusing sometimes. So what you do is the present tense is used to describe the chart, the overall chart, okay? And the past tense is used to describe things in the chart that have passed, okay? Things that have happened before but are not happening now. And then you use the present perfect to describe issues that have started in the past but are still continuing until today, okay? And you use the future tense for information after today. Okay, so say that you have to have a prediction. This is when you use the future tense, right? So with that, you have to remember that you have to look at the years carefully when you are looking at the chart, all right? Some charts, they trick you. You know, right now we're in 2021. It might end at 2025. So you have to pay attention closely to the chart. Maybe there is a prediction there, but you don't realize it, so that's kind of dangerous, okay? So you have to make sure that if it is a current year, you use the present tense. If it is the past years, you use past tense. And of course, if there is a big prediction, you use the future tense, okay? Now look at this chart description, present tense. The chart depicts. Usually when in the introduction, you start with the present tense. Okay, the chart depicts, because it is as when you're reading it, you're describing it as you're reading it, so you can put the present tense there. Okay, and after that, you have to have an analysis of information provided, and also you need to have a description of numbers, figures, percentage, currency, people, etc. You have to add all these in. We will go more in depth into this. Don't worry. Okay, I'm just touching upon this right now. Okay, what else? You should also use either the symbol or the words for description of numbers and figures. For example, RM10 or 10 Malaysian ringgit or percents. You can have it 2 words or 1 word, okay? And the percentage sign, okay? All right, now, this is what you should not do. You're not going to describe everything inside the graph. That will be wrong. You're not just listing down information. Okay, you're analyzing the information, and you have to make sure that you are not just stating the information. Okay, this is not a descriptive writing exercise. This is an analysis. So make sure that you properly analyze and not describe or list or just state. Okay, so let's plan your analysis. Okay, let's see whether there is an overall trend. Sometimes there is no overall trend, but what is a trend? Okay, a trend is an upwards or downwards shift in the data set over time. Okay, remember that, set over time. Okay, and you have to bear in mind that not all graphs contain trends. Okay, so don't put there the overall trend is blah, 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 blah for all the graphs. No, all right? Make sure that there is an upwards or downward shift in a data over a set of time. Okay, so identify what the main trends are for each mode, if any. Identify any large increases or decreases, and you group them together if possible. So when you group them together, this is when you can start analyzing things. All right, you're not going to look at everything. You're going to put it group by group, and then you're going to analyze it group by group. Okay, now here, you guys turn on your mics, all right, and answer this question. The graph below illustrates the number of times Anissa, Alicia, and Alia ordered food through the Grab app in 4 days. Okay, in 4 days, meaning that there is time, isn't it? All right, is there a trend here? Can you answer me? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Okay, thank you, brother. All right, yes, there is a trend here. All right,
Yes.
now how about this one
Green,
here?
green. Someone there.
What is that?
It's green. Green for the Mr. Chat.
I can't hear. Can you speak up?
The green color. The
The
green
green color.
color.
Yes, the green color is for Alia.
Yeah.
Alicia is blue and Anissa is red. And this is how many times that they have ordered food through Grab in 4 days, right? So you can see that there's a trend there, isn't it? Okay, how about this one here? Is there a trend here?
No.
No, because this is only set for 1 day, isn't it? Right? Look at the rubrics. Okay, the following graph illustrates Brother Jamal, Brother Tahir, and Brother Halim's shopping expenditure for different personal items during the 12/12 sale. Okay, and then they just talk about the items purchased and the amount spent. So here, there's no trend. All right, there's no time limit. This is 1 day. All right, now, look at this. Okay, which data can be grouped? Okay, data which shows data which only shows two groups, data which are very similar. Okay, if we go back here, all right, can you see data which are similar here?
Yes.
Yes, okay, for whom?
Alia.
Alia. Okay, Alia, it's like an upwards trend, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? Okay, good. Yes, that's right. So if you see that there are data that can be grouped, then group them together because they are very similar, right? In Alia's case just now, the data it had very similar patterns. Okay, and also sometimes data which is unique, data which stands out from the rest. So maybe others had like an upward trend. Maybe that's the only data that had a downward trend. So you can group that one up together and start talking about that. Okay, again, it can be different. It will be different from one graph to another. Okay. All right. Now, we will do exercises on this later, so be patient, okay? We will have a hands-on session after this. Okay, now, next comes vocabulary, all right? The following are the very important vocab in a data analysis: the adjectives, adverbs, trend verbs, comparatives, and superlatives, approximations, and sometimes no trends, okay? No trends. All right, now look at the adjectives here. Okay, adjectives will describe the degree of change. For example, there was a slight increase in the value of the ringgit. So these are some of the words some of the adjectives that you can use when you're analyzing your data. Okay, dramatic, sharp, huge, enormous, steep, substantial, considerate, significant, marked, moderate, slight, small, minimal. So it gets from very big to very small, isn't it? Right? Here, also, okay, adjectives describe the speed of change. All right, there was a rapid increase in the value of ringgit. So rapid, quick, swift, sudden, steady, gradual, slow. There are other adjectives that you can use, but this is just some of the examples that I want to provide for you, all right? So one describes the degree and one describes the speed, all right? Any questions regarding this? Okay, I will take that as a no, right? And there's also trend verbs, okay? And it is increase, decrease, fluctuate, incline, decline, unstable, grow, rocketed, slumped, and plunge. Okay, so half of these show upward trends and some of it shows the downward trend. All right. Now let's discuss describing trends. All right, look at the verbs to describe. Okay, there's rise, jump, grow, climb, go up, increase, or soar. And there are verbs to describe a decline. All right, fall, drop, decline, decrease, go down, plunge, plummet. Okay, now when you want to use something which happens very, very quickly, okay, to describe an upward trend, which one would you use? Would you use rise? Would you use soar? Or would you just use grow? Which one would you want to use? Or which one do you like to use when you're doing your data analysis? Can someone answer me?
Rise.
Rise. Okay, good. All right. And then how about the difference between fall and plummet? Can someone tell me the difference between the word fall and plummet? What does how does plummet indicate something different from fall?
Have up and down trend.
Yeah, it's still a downwards trend, but when you look at the word plummet, does it give you like a more dramatic type of fall than fall on its own?
Dramatic.
Yes, that's right, isn't it? Right. So when you use the plummet, plunge, it just shows that something that goes down very dramatically as compared to just drop. A drop will just be like very slight. Okay, so use your these words very carefully when you're analyzing your data, because the indications are all there. All right. Look at this one here on the right side. Adverbs to describe. Okay. When you're describing something really steep, you use sharply, quickly, rapidly, steeply, and then the degree gets a bit lower. All right, so you can use the words considerably, significantly, substantially, a bit more lower, steadily, gradually, moderately, and when it's very slight, you can use slightly or slowly. All right, so use these wisely, because this will affect your grade if you use them wrong. All right, and then how to describe something: stay or remain, plus constant, steady, stable. Okay, so when it says when something is like almost a plateau, all right, like this, a plateau, mendatar, right? So you can say stay or remain, or it was constant, it was steady, it was stable. Okay, so these are some of the vocabulary that you can use when you are analyzing your data. But remember to use them wisely, okay? Don't just use any of them as you please, because the indications will be different accordingly, okay? According to the words that you have used. Okay, now look at the adverbs now. So this one, these words on the left will describe the degree of change, and the words on the right will describe the speed of change, all right? So dramatically, sharply, enormously, steeply, substantially, considerably, significantly, markedly, moderately, slightly, and minimally. These all describe the degree, right? But the right side will describe how fast it happened, okay? Or how slow it happened, okay? So you have rapidly, quickly, swiftly, suddenly, steadily, gradually, and slowly. So for both, you can see that, you know, from something very, very big, something very dramatic, to something very minimal, something very slow. All right, so these are the words that you can use. Now, let's look at comparatives versus superlatives. Can someone tell me what comparatives and superlatives are? What's the difference between comparative and superlative?
Are used to compare two things, a comparative.
Yes, that's right. So comparative is just to compare two different things, whereas superlatives, what do?
Compare more than three.
Yes, that's right. So this one will
More than two.
one versus everything else, right? When it comes to comparative, it's just two different things that you're comparing. When it's superlative, it's one thing against a big group. Okay, so the example given here, comparatives are used to compare just two things. The sun is bigger, so use the ER than the moon. But a superlative, this one is used to compare one thing against a group of others. And the example given here is the elephant is the biggest land animal. So usually, but not all the time, for comparative, you use ER, bigger, ER. And for superlative, you use the EST. Not all the time, remember that, all right? So how do we differentiate between the two? When are we going to use ER? When are we going to use EST? We'll discuss that later. Okay, now look at this. The highest percentage of students are registered in the X course. Okay, the greatest proportion of books sold are literature books. Or you can say the lowest proportion of books sold are literature books. Now, when you look at these, okay, what are they? Are they superlatives or are they comparatives?
Superlative.
Yes, that's right. But notice there, they are superlatives. But notice that there is also a significant. Okay, so this is also a superlative, yeah? A significant number of tourists come from Europe, or a significant number of tourists to Penang come from Europe. Okay, the smallest number, the largest number. All right, so these are ways that you can use superlatives: highest, greatest, lowest, most, significant, smallest, largest. Okay, now how are they formed? All right, words with one syllable. Okay, it will be high, higher, the highest. Okay, but words with 3 syllables or more, it is productive, more productive, less productive. And when it is superlatives, it becomes the most productive and the least productive. Okay, so when you have 1 syllable words, you can put the ER and the EST. But if it is 3 syllables or more, you have to put more or less or most and least for it to be comparative or a superlative. Okay, now when the word ends with Y, for example, wealthy, it becomes wealthier, wealthiest. The spelling changes a bit there, yeah? I-E-R, I-E-S-T. When there are short words ending with a consonant, vowel, consonant, okay, hot, H-O-T, consonant, vowel, consonant, hotter, the hottest. But there are also irregulars. In English, there are always irregulars. You cannot escape these irregulars. So when for the example, the word good, you don't say good, gooder, goodest, right? So it becomes good, better, and the best. Okay, so this is like a very simple guide of how to use comparatives and superlatives. Again, I would like to remind you about your vocabulary bank. When you are doing English, any type of English, pre-sessional English, later on when you're in Kuliah, and either you're going to do LEED or if you're going to do your thesis, you need to have a very big vocabulary bank so that, you know, you will be able to use as many words as possible very comfortably. All right, and how do you do this? Practice. You need a lot of practice. You need to expose yourselves to English words. You have to use them, you know, when you're on campus with your friends, or sometimes when you're at home or in class. Make sure that you participate in class so that, you know, you can grow that vocabulary bank, okay? All right, so this is the second session of our talk, and I will pass the stage to Madam Carlinda. Remember that if you have any questions regarding the first half, I hope that you've written them down so that after this you can ask me the questions, okay? So I will stop sharing my screen and I will pass it to Madam Carlinda. Thank you guys. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Madam Azura. All right. Assalamualaikum, everyone. Now, the second part will be presented by me. Okay. So, I will start with approximation. Wait, yeah. All right. Let me share my screen. All right. Okay, approximations are the expressions, okay, that you use when you have numbers or figures that are not exactly a round figure. Like for example, if you have 25, then it's easy for you to mention it, okay? What if you have percentage like 23.3, okay, or 33.33, okay? So that's why, okay, these approximations will come in handy when you have those kinds of figures, okay, in your data. All right, for example here, all right, these are not just the expressions that you can use, okay, there are so many more, okay. About the first one, around 1/3, okay. I hope you understand how to write the number 1/3, okay, is 1/3, 1/3, okay. About half, all right, I'm sure everybody knows this, okay. Let's say you have, for example, 50%, okay, and like Madam Azura mentioned just now, okay, sometimes you need to use different expressions. Like when you have 50% on your data, okay, on the graph, all right, and you want to mention it in different language, okay, different expression, you can use about half, okay. You don't have to exactly use the number 50%. Okay, this will show that you understand numbers and you know how to change them, okay, use alternative expressions, okay. When you have different numbers, then you can use this. Okay, more than 100. Let's say you have the figure 102, okay, or when you are given a graph, okay, there will be lines on 100, but the bar graph or the line goes slightly above 100. So you don't know whether it's 101, 102, or 110, 120. So you can just say more than 100, okay? And less than half, approximately, okay, approximately, just under, over, and slightly over. Here, they are all about the same, okay? So if it is just under, means that, like, let's say you have the figure 100, but it's slightly below 100, then you say just under, okay. And when you can just say, you can also say slightly under or slightly below, all right. Over here, this is the same as more, okay. Slightly over or just over or approximately over, okay, they are all the same, okay. So what you need to know is you understand, okay, under means below, over means, okay, above or more, all right. So those are very simple. So what you need to know is you have the options of using these expressions when the number is not a round number, or you don't know exactly where the data stops or where the data actually pinpoint at, okay. So don't worry if you, let's say your friend said, hey, the number is actually 130, but I wrote 140 because it's between 100 and 150. So don't worry about it, okay? Because as long as you have that, okay, in between those numbers, okay, you are safe, all right? All right, so sometimes you are given just one pie chart, okay? Just don't have this in your mind that pie chart will not be tested, okay? Sometimes you will have one pie chart, sometimes two pie charts, okay? And you need to be able to understand, okay, when it is pie chart, just one pie chart, okay, the way that you write is similar to static, okay, static bar graph, because there is no movement, all right. But sometimes, okay, perhaps this is also has been mentioned by your teachers, okay, that when you have two different pie charts and you have the different date below, like for example 211 and 212, okay, the way that you are going to write about these two pie charts are similar to the dynamic bar graph or line graph, because, okay, most of the time when you are given two pie charts with different dates, okay, and you have to understand, you have to analyze, okay. It could be that, okay, it shows changes in the number of the item inside the charts. Maybe it's about the sale of books, okay, between two or 3 different bookshops in 2 different years. Okay, so you really need to, when you receive your question paper, okay, don't be so excited when you see a bar graph and you see there's no year, or okay, then you know, okay, it's a static one. But when you receive a pie chart and then you see, okay, you really have to look at them, okay, or look at it and analyze, okay, and digest, all right, so that you will not have a different interpretation or a wrong interpretation or analysis on those pie charts. Okay, it can be tricky. All right, it can be tricky, but most of the time it's just simple if you follow whatever has been taught by your teacher. Okay, just don't confuse yourself. Okay, all right. So whenever there is no trend, like one single pie chart, okay, or just a static graph, okay, you can use all this expression, okay. Fell by, rose by, a quarter, a third, tripled. Okay, tripled here means, okay, the number goes 3 times higher. Okay, double. Okay, I think you know, okay, what this means. Okay, double means twice as much. Half means, okay, it's reduced to 0.5 or 50%. Okay, all right. Okay, just now Madam Azura has mentioned about tenses. All right, now I want to go talking about sentence structure. Okay, this is very, very important because there are various ways, okay, that you can use, okay, to make your analysis, okay, to make your analysis or your writing more interesting. What I mean is that you have to know how to make variations in your sentences so that you will not just have one sentence structure only. All right, what does that mean? Okay, let us look at this here. There plus a verb to be plus article plus adjective plus noun and subject. Okay, so there was, look at this, the color code, it is already color coded. Okay, there was verb to be, a or an. All right, this one, of course, we use a, not an. Okay, there was a slight, okay, increase, slight or adequate. Okay, increase is the noun. Okay, slight is the adjective in the number of tourists to Seoul. Okay, this is one sentence structure. Another one is, okay, follow the subject, transitive verb, article, adjective, and noun. Okay, the number of tourists to Seoul experienced a slight increase. Okay, they are two different structures, but they are talking about the same thing. Okay, let's look at this again. There was a slight increase in the number of tourists to Seoul. Okay, the difference in this one is we bring the number of tourists to Seoul in front. Okay, the number of tourists to Seoul. Okay, now we have transitive verb instead of just verb. Instead of verb to be, we have to use transitive verb here. Experienced a slight increase. Okay, here you have adjective, slight, increase, the same. Okay, all right, this is the third structure. The number of tourists to Seoul decreased slightly in 2019. Okay, so this one is if you want to include the year. Okay, the structure is subject plus verb, decreased, plus adverb. Okay. As mentioned by Madam Azura, if you remember, okay, most of the sentences when you are given the year, which is always, should be always in the past, okay, you should use or you must use, okay, past tense because they have already been in the past. Okay, so decreased slightly in 2019. Okay, some of you might say that it's not really important whether you know tenses or not, because this is task 1, not task 2. Okay, you if you have that kind of idea, you are wrong. Okay, because in task 1 is this is also very important. Okay, this is very important that you know and you understand tenses. Doesn't matter whether if it is task 1 or task 2. You have to know your tenses. Okay, past tense, present tense. All right. Okay. Maybe if you want to use has decreased also is acceptable. All right. Okay, try this. The number of tourists abroad dramatic plunge into 2020. Okay, what's wrong with this? Okay, which one? Can anybody, somebody want to try? Which one should be corrected here? Who wants to try? Who wants to try to make the correction?
The number of tourists abroad plunged dramatically in 2020.
Yes, very good. If you are in front of me, I will give you a chocolate. All right. What about the second one? Who wants to try? Maybe a different person. Okay, we have. Yes.
We have to say last year the number of something.
The numbers of something. Okay.
Of something was deleted at about.
Okay, the numbers. Yeah, you can add the subject. Okay, the numbers of something. The numbers of tourists. Okay, but what is should be corrected here is was declined. Okay, we don't need was here. Okay, last year the numbers declined to about 24. Why do was is wrong here? The placement of was is wrong here because okay, decline has also already showed it's a past tense. Okay.
There's already.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Okay, who wants to try number 3? Okay, this is a number in the future, yeah? What is missing?
Well-developed country.
What is missing, brother? Yeah, your answer is right, but what is what do we call that in grammar? The parts of speech, what is it? What category is that? The, and what is it?
I can remember.
Article.
Article, yes. So Malaysia will be a well-developed country. Okay. All right. What about the next one? There was a gradual boom in the number of tourists in 2019. Is there anything wrong with this?
No.
No, right. Yes, you're right. There was a gradual boom in the number of tourists in 2019. If you look at the structure, this is similar to, okay, this, okay, structure number 1. There was a something, okay, slight adequate, okay, the structure is similar. All right, what is the meaning of boom?
Increase.
Increase, yes. Okay, it's not bomb, yeah? All right, it's not bomb or explosion. Okay, or explosive. So boom here is to mean that the number, okay, rose dramatically. It's a boom, okay. There was a steadily increase in the number of tourists to Malacca. Okay, where is the error here?
Steadily,
Okay, it should be,
a steady increase.
yes, very good, correct. Okay, inshallah you will exit from Cillc this semester, sister. Okay, because you understand there is a mistake here, and the mistake is steadily. Steadily should be steady. Okay, last one. Who wants to exit Cillc? Okay, you must try the last one.
Teacher,
Yes.
increase after then minimally.
Okay. In 2008, the number of tourists increased
Minimally.
to its
Yeah.
highest point. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. You will also exit from Cillc.
Inshallah.
If you speak,
Amin. Today is Friday, inshallah. The doa will be makbul. All right. Okay. Now let us look at this graph. You should spend about 20 minutes. Okay. It says here, let's try task 1. All right. You are not going to write, okay, the analysis, but okay. Can you tell me this graph, is it dynamic or sorry, dynamic or what do you call that? Static. Is it dynamic or static?
Dynamic.
It's dynamic.
Yes, very good. Yeah, because all right, this can be confusing because normally when you have a dynamic bar graph, okay, you have the years here. All right, this is a trick one because you have the years here. Okay, and each kind of mode of transportation is train, car, tube, and bus. Okay, if you cannot read the fine writing there, okay, it's train, car, tube, and bus. Okay, and the different colored bars here represent the years. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, it's 1950, 1980, and 2020. Okay. Yeah, or it's written here, 1960, 1980, 2000, not 2020. So this is actually a dynamic bar graph, okay? Right. So remember, when you receive your question paper, all right, you have to plan, read the question carefully, like I mentioned just now. Sometimes you get excited, you know, when you see a bar graph, okay, and then you see let's say you see a bar graph like this, and then you quickly say, oh, this is a static bar graph. And then you write, you wrote a different or a wrong analysis. Then after you finish, and when you want to write your task 1, only you realize that, oh, Allahu Akbar, this is a dynamic bar graph. And then you got panicked. Okay, so, and you want to change. And the teacher say, okay, time's up, you have to submit. If not, your paper will not be graded or you don't have any band. Okay, so please read and analyze. Okay, when you receive your paper, it's not paper, yeah, it's going to be online. But when you read the question, all right, so make sure you read carefully, okay, and you understand what type of graph or chart you are given. Understand the visual presented to you, type of graph, static or dynamic, okay, the axis, what do the horizontal and vertical represent, okay, group the data together as mentioned by Madam Azura just now, okay, about the trend, or is it that there is no trend, and how are you going to start writing, okay, the analysis and things like that, okay. Introduction. The introductory paragraph states the main purpose of the chart, written in paraphrase using the writer's own words, okay. So when you are writing the introduction, use the information given in the title, paraphrase as much as possible. Okay, like Madam Azura mentioned again just now, okay, you have to have a very good vocabulary bank because, all right, for task 1, all right, it's a very short writing, not unlike the task 2. And this is when the teacher or whoever marks your paper will be looking at how well do you know how to use different words. Okay, because when you start writing the what do you call that, the introduction, this is where you give the good impression to the examiner that you don't really copy word by word from the title given. Okay, it is, yes, it is very easy, okay, to just copy the title. Okay, the for example, the chart or the bar depicts the blah blah blah, you just copy the title. But if you are a good writer, a good English student, okay, you will be able to use different words. Okay, then it will give a good impression to the examiner. All right, first good impression is very important in any situation. Okay, so what do I want to say just now? Yeah, I forgot. All right, never mind. Okay, you see these 2 cows here. Okay, one is saying moo, okay, and the other one says, I just said that, use your own words. Okay, apparently this cow is cleverer than this cow. Okay, but okay, if you understand the language of the cow, they cannot say anything else other than moo. Okay, okay, this is just for fun. Words or terms that cannot be paraphrased remain as they are. Okay, let's say for example, let's say a simple word like car. Okay, maybe, okay, you can use synonym for car. What is the synonym for car?
Vehicle?
Vehicle is for everything. Okay, vehicle consists of anything that moves with 4 wheels or 2 wheels or 4 wheels, yeah, or train also. Okay, so sometimes some words you just need to use their own original word. Okay, but if
Yeah,
you know
but you can say automobile.
automobile, yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Okay, you will exit definitely. Okay, because you know the other word for car.
Inshallah.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yes, things like that. Yeah, all right. So find the best way to try your best to replace any words that you see, okay, in the introduction. Okay, make use of the information you find on the horizontal and vertical axis of the chart. Okay, this is vertical, this is horizontal. So normally the vertical ones you will have the numbers, yeah, okay, numbers can be percentage, can be in thousands, in millions. Okay, it can be in what, yeah, those are the numbers that you will always have. Horizontal wise, okay, you will have like years, days, months, okay, or maybe sometimes the items like books, okay, subjects, people, age, okay, age groups, things like that. Okay, and highlight key features of the chart. All right, the highest and the lowest, most and least, main differences, etc., but do not include any data. Okay, so let's say you have a line graph like this. Okay, so you see the lowest point and the highest point, and maybe this one okay, is in the middle, okay, somewhere along here. Okay, this is also okay. All right, so you should know where is the lowest, where is the highest. Use the present tense when describing the chart itself. The chart exhibits, like mentioned by Madam Azura just now, passive tense can also be used but still in the present tense. Okay, they are divided into 3 groups. Okay, perhaps if you are level 6 students, okay, maybe your teachers have gone through with you passive and active voice. Okay, use it in your writing, whether it's in task 1 or task 2, because when you are able to show, okay, your skill in writing passive voice, okay, it shows different, it gives a good impression to the examiner, that because not everyone can write passive voice correctly or use passive voice smoothly in their writing. Okay, if you can use passive voice and correctly, that means you have that skill of understanding sentence structure in English. Okay. Use past tense for the overview as it is describing the content. Okay, the percentage soared to the highest in 2005. Okay, this one has been covered just now earlier. Okay, analysis tips when describing trends. What are the units of measurement? Okay, is there more than one group being compared? What are the time periods shown? Okay, past, present, future. Okay, most of the time it's going to be the past, but just be careful. Maybe, okay, sometimes, okay, but it's very, very rare that you will have graph which is showing future. But if it is showing the future, then you should know, you should use future tense. Okay. Are there any differences and similarities? Okay, this is also very, very important. Okay, and you have to know how to use the language of differentiations, like comparing and contrasting, like likewise, similarly, in contrast, okay, things like that. Do not describe every small upwards and downwards movement. Okay, yes, because if you describe everything, okay, every little detail, then your paper, okay, your task 1 will be like as long as your task 2. Remember, you have to keep to the limit of 150 words, yeah? Do not write about things that do not appear in the graph. You shouldn't give an opinion, just describe the information that appears. Okay, this one is some students, okay, they like to give reasons, okay, because maybe they like to write, okay, and they like to explain. So when you have the upward and downward movement, or you have the numbers, you see the numbers increase or decrease, okay, you don't have to relate to any situation, okay, you don't have to give reasons. This is because, okay, many people do not like this item because the item is bad or the item is not useful. No, you don't give any reason, okay, because it's not needed, it's not important. Although your reason is logical, please do not give any reasons, okay. All right, so repeat the general overview. This is when you come to the conclusion. Repeat the general overview by rephrasing it. Use different words. Do not make any more analysis. So, oh, you realize that there's something that you are missing or you didn't mention. So, you make another analysis in the conclusion. No, you cannot do that, okay? It will give, what do you call that, the format. It will give a bad impression, okay, because you are not following the correct format. Okay, so the most common mistakes in writing task 1, okay, not understanding the data, meaning that you don't really understand, okay, what is this about, okay, and you don't understand whether this is static or dynamic. Not writing in full sentences, writing out every single detail of information, okay, listing, not analyzing, yes, okay, like I mentioned just now, do not give every little detail, the ups and downs for everything, okay. Wrong subject reference, okay, use using wrong verbs or adverbs or nouns or adjectives, okay, just like the exercise that we did just now, okay, too many grammatical error, okay. Not understanding the data, it can be easily confused between the dynamic and the static, okay. So, so when you are given a bar graph especially, okay, just read the data, analyze it carefully before you start writing. Make sure you know that it is a dynamic or a static bar graph. Okay, not writing in full sentences. What does it mean? Okay, here you have an incomplete sentence. The number of Japanese tourists who travel abroad. Okay, so even if you are listening to me talking, okay, you are waiting, right, for me to finish my sentence. What happened to them? Okay, so this is the complete one. The number of Japanese tourists who travel abroad increased dramatically from 5 million to 15 million. Okay, so it's longer, but it's a full sentence and you have a complete information in that sentence. All right, another incomplete sentence. The number of books sold in bookshop A is higher. All right, a lot of students write like this, you know, it's actually grammatically wrong. When you have comparative comparative adjective like this, okay, this is very common. Even in speaking also we use this. But actually when you use higher, lower, slower, faster, you have to mention then what. Okay, so you have to complete the sentence. The number of books sold in bookshop A is higher than in bookshop B. Okay, or if you want to, you maybe, okay, the number is the highest. So if you stop there, it's correct. Okay, the number of books sold in bookshop A is the highest, is correct. Okay, but when you use comparative, okay, when you add ER or more in front, okay, you must finish then what. Okay, because you are comparing two items when you are using comparative. Okay, writing out every single detail in information or listing. For example, all right, this one, the percentage of students who passed the exam in 2013 was 15%. In 2015, the percentage was 30%. However, the percentage in 2017 was 50%. At the end, the percentage was 65%. Okay, even if it is reading the sentences here is very tiring. And what more, you have too many numbers. Okay, it can be very boring. Okay. All right, wrong subject reference. For example here, car started as the lowest at around 8 in 1960, but rose to approximately 38 in 2000. Okay, car is the wrong subject reference. Okay, why? Because it's mode of transport and years. Mode of transport here means, okay, how many people use car, train, tube, bus. So if you say car, okay, it's not the car that has the lowest number. It's the number of people who use car to travel. So, okay, the correct version should be the use of car as mode of transportation. Okay, or the number of people who use car to travel. In 1960 was the lowest at around 8, while in 2000, the number of people who use car as their favorite mode of transport increased significantly to about 38. Okay, so maybe sometimes you wonder, okay, between you and your friend, you thought that you already give the correct number, okay. You see that you have given the correct number, the correct year, but you get a lower band than your friend. Okay, maybe because you didn't give the correct, okay, you didn't write the correct sentence. You give the wrong subject reference, okay. Using wrong adverbs or nouns or adjectives, okay. So incorrect, the number of visitors increased significance. Okay, this is about, okay, understanding the difference of nouns and adjectives and adverb, okay. The correct one should be the number of visitors increased significantly, because after, okay, significantly is an adverb that explains the verb increase. Okay, significance is a noun, so it cannot come after the verb increased. Okay, or it can be the other way around. It's like this. Okay, incorrect. There was a significantly increase in the number of visitors. Okay, should be there was a significant increase in the number of visitors. Okay, this is adjective. This is noun. Okay, increase in this sentence is noun. It's not a verb. However, the meaning of this sentence and this sentence is the same. It's just the structure is different. Okay, I hope by now, okay, you already understand the difference between verb and adverb and nouns and adjectives. Okay, using wrong grammar, all right. So perhaps okay, like the use of a and an or the, okay, plurals, singular plurals, countable or uncountable nouns, noun verb agreement. Okay, for example, if it is a plural, you must use the verb for plural. Okay, you must understand the she uses, not she use, but they use, not they uses. Okay, things like that. Verb tenses, past tense must be used since the data are in the past. Okay, prepositions like in, at, on, by, from. Okay, if by this time you don't understand, okay, the difference between for example, by and from, okay, it can be confusing because sometimes you see by something means it is about to reach that number. For example, okay, let's say now the time that on my clock shows 12:39. I say I will finish by 1 o'clock, means whether exactly at 1 o'clock or before 1 o'clock I will finish, but not after 1 o'clock. So the meaning of word for by there, okay, has got a specific meaning if you are writing it in data, okay, because it has another different meaning. This book is written by someone, okay, so that by has different meaning with by 1 o'clock. Okay, so let's recap. This will be the last. Okay, yes. Mistake number 1, misinterpreting the diagram. Mistake number 2, reporting the data mechanically. Okay, mechanically here means that it's very the way that you write the sentence is like robot. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, how not to make your sentence mechanically? You use transition words. However, by the way, okay, or consequently, or what else? In addition, so when you use these transitions, your sentence will not appear too mechanically. Okay, adding unnecessary detail. Okay, like I mentioned just now, do not add any reasons. Adding your own opinions or assumptions. Okay, similar to number 3. Repeating the same words and grammatical structures. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, you have to use different sentence structures, like don't use verb and adverb all the time throughout your paper, or don't use this type of sentence also all the time. Have a variation, you know, change the style of writing, then your task 1 will be a very interesting one. All right, so that comes to the end. So good luck. All right, if you have any question, you can ask, okay, now. If you have any question for Madam Azura or for me. Okay.
Yes, thank you, teacher, from your information. We can give this rule in Google Classroom. This rule you teach and information we can give in Google Classroom.
The slides.
Yes, yes.
And
This
okay.
slide, yeah.
Yeah, I think Madam Noramili will share it. Are you going to share it, Madam Ramili?
Yeah, sure, inshallah. Yeah,
Yes,
we will
thanks.
share
Thanks.
with your class teachers and they will share in your own Google Classroom for your class.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, teachers.
Thank you. Sister, were you the one who answered the question? Yeah.
Excuse me, teacher, I didn't hear you well.
Oh, did you answer any of the questions just now?
Automobile.
Automobile. Oh, mashallah.
Yeah, and also I corrected some mistakes in
Alhamdulillah.
sentence.
Where are you now? In your country?
No, I'm in campus.
Oh, in campus. Okay.
Yeah.
Which level are you at now?
Level 6.
Level 6. Inshallah. I pray that you will exit, yeah?
Ameen,
And everybody here, all right? Everybody here.
Yeah, inshallah.
Dear teacher,
yes.
Can you send this chapter to read? Because it is, I think it is a summary of all the lesson.
Yes.
Yes. Inshallah, it will be sent to your class teacher, brother.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, my teacher.
My teacher, sorry.
Yes.
We are a new student in Afghanistan. We are now in campus. Can you send for me and record the lessons?
Can we share the recording, Madam Amelie?
I think the recording will be sent to your teachers, then your teachers will be able to explain, because sometimes when you listen to the recording, you might not be able to understand it well. You will understand your teachers even better. Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay, we will try to see whether the recording is okay or not. Yeah?
Yes.
I've recorded it. Yeah, inshallah.
I just want to remind you, yeah, everybody here, whether you are in level 1 or level 6, okay, anything or everything that your teacher has taught you in